Ever wonder what separates a truly groundbreaking piece of research from, well, just noise? It often comes down to one critical decision that's made before any data is even collected. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret blueprint of solid research, and it all starts with this thing called the unit of analysis. I mean, think about it. We are constantly bombarded with headlines about the latest study, right? This causes that. That proves this. But how can you really tell if a conclusion is trustworthy, or if it's just statistical noise? In a world that's just flooded with data, that is a huge question. Well, the secret is to think like an architect. Just like a massive skyscraper needs a really solid plan to stand tall and not fall over, a research study needs a powerful foundation. And for any study, that foundation is its blueprint. So, that research blueprint, it all starts by forcing us to answer one super simple but incredibly important question first. What or who are we actually studying here? And that brings us to the key term for today, the unit of analysis. It's really just the what or who that's being studied. It is the main thing a researcher is focused on. Now, this could be an individual person for sure, but it could also be something way bigger, like, a classroom, an entire company, or, hey, even a whole country. And believe me, this single decision shapes literally everything that comes after. Okay, but to really get this, we need to make a super important distinction. We have to separate what we're studying from where we're getting our information about it. This is the difference between the unit of analysis and something called the unit of observation. It sounds technical, but it's actually pretty simple. The unit of analysis is the who or what. That's your subject. The unit of observation is the source of the data about them. So, for example, if you're studying students, they are your unit of analysis. But their grades, the data you collect, that's your unit of observation. See? You observe the grades to learn something about the student. Simple as that. So where does this data actually come from? Well, researchers have a few go-to methods. They can use self-assessments, which is basically when a person reports on themselves, like filling out a survey, or they can use objective measures. Think standardized test scores or physical data. And another common one is using the judgment of another person, like asking a parent to report on their child's behavior. Each one is just a different lens to look at our main subject, the unit of analysis. All right, so knowing your unit of analysis is step one. But to build a study that's actually solid, like rock solid, it's not enough to just pick a subject. A great study needs perfect alignment, and this is built on what we're going to call the 3 pillars. And here they are. Your unit of analysis has to line up perfectly with your theory, your measurement, and your final analysis. If just one of these pillars is wobbly, the entire study can come crashing down. Let's break that down, starting with pillar 1, theory. The theory you're using has to match your subject. For instance, there's something called self-determination theory, and it's all about individual motivation. So it's a perfect fit if your unit of analysis is a person, but it makes 0 sense if you're trying to use it to study an entire company. The theory and the unit have to be on the same page. Next up, pillar 2, measurement. I mean, this seems kind of obvious, right? But it is so critical. The tools you use have to be designed to measure your specific subject. You wouldn't use a ruler to check your weight, would you? It's the same idea here. You use personality tests for people, and you use accounting measures for corporations. The tool has to fit the unit of analysis. And finally, pillar 3, analysis. This is where it all comes together. Your conclusions must circle back to your original subject. If you studied individual students, your results have to be about those students. You can't suddenly jump to making claims about entire schools. That kind of mismatch, that leap, that's exactly how misleading headlines are born. Okay, theory is great and all, but what does this look like in the real world? Let's check out a case study where they just nailed it. Think of it as the model home, where the blueprint was followed to perfection. Okay, so check out this 2017 study by Saleh and Bista on why people participate in online surveys. Look at how perfectly everything lines up here. What's their unit of analysis? The individual graduate student. Boom. The theory they used, social exchange theory, which is individual-based. The measurement, individual survey responses. And the analysis, they compared the responses of individuals. See? It's perfect alignment across all 3 pillars. That is a strong blueprint. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds super technical, like it's just for researchers, right? But it actually has huge real-world implications for all of us. So why does this all matter to you? Because, as researcher Khan put it, the unit of analysis is the most important part of any research. And why is that? Because, and I quote, the whole research is based upon it. It's the foundation stone. If that stone is in the wrong place, everything you build on top of it is unstable. And that's the real power here for you. Understanding this whole blueprint concept transforms you from a passive reader into a critical thinker. It's like having a secret key that helps you spot flawed research, and maybe even more importantly, gives you the confidence to trust high-quality findings when you see them. So here's your takeaway. From now on, next time you see a headline or read a study, just ask yourself one simple question. Is the blueprint sound? Are the theory, the measurement, and the analysis all perfectly aligned with the same subject? Now you've got the tools to figure it out.